Topping today's news, 127 migrants apprehended on the west side of Andros. 200 illegal migrants from 5 nationalities repatriated. 2 young men appear before the magistrate charged with a recent murder on Camp Road South. And police believe they have caught the man who raped a woman in the Angliston community last week. Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Jcn Saunders. This is your JCN Evening News. It's a pleasure to have you join us. A group of 127 Haitian migrants were taken into custody after they were found in distress in a remote location off the western coast of Andros near Yellow Key. That was Friday. Officials of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force reported that the Cuban Border Patrol alerted them to a Haitian sailing vessel, and as a result of routine patrols and surveillance, the vessel carrying the unlawful migrants was located. Officials from the Ministry of Labor and Immigration say investigations indicate that the vessel traveled near Cuba waters, or the Cuban waters, and was en route to the United States, adding that this appears to be an increasing trend to avoid interception in Bahamian waters. Commodore of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, Dr. Raymond King, shared as much in a recent report on migration trends. Initial aerial surveillance showed distressed individuals seeking assistance. Given the remote location of the landing, the migrants were taken into custody on Sunday morning following an extensive search of the landing area. 116 males, 9 females, 2 minors made up the group of migrants. The Department of Immigration is working with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to ensure that the unlawful entrants are repatriated as quickly as possible. The Department of Immigration repatriated 3 groups of illegal migrants from New Providence last week. Some 200 individuals were returned to their home countries via the Lyndon Pending International Airport on Wednesday and Thursday of last week. On Wednesday, the first group of 65 Haitians, they were flown to Port-au-Prince around 6:24 a.m. The Bahamas Air charter flight departed with 53 males, 10 females, and 2 minors. Then at approximately 12:02 p.m., a Copa Airlines flight departed for Panama City, Panama, with 7 migrants on board, 3 Peruvians, 2 Colombians, and 2 Chinese nationals. On Wednesday, March 1st, 128 Cuban nationals departed the capital at approximately 11:12 a.m. on Bahamas Air charter inbound for Havana, Cuba, with that flight carrying 108 males, 20 females. The Immigration Department's Deportation Enforcement Unit led all of these escorts. News in from the courts. 23-year-old Jean Sila and 21-year-old Yvonne Carter both faced Chief Magistrate Joanne Ferguson Pratt this morning, where they were charged for the murder of Haranique McPhee and the attempted murder of Owen Henderson. According to prosecutors, shortly after 1 a.m. on Saturday, February 4th, the pair was in a Nissan March on Coleman Lane, South Camp Road, when they were approached by 2 gunmen who emerged from nearby bushes armed with high-powered weapons. The men opened fire on the couple, resulting in both of them being shot multiple times, consequently killing McPhee. The duo was not required to enter a plea. Bail was denied. They both were remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services until June 18th, when they returned for a voluntary bill of indictment. A consolidated sexual offenses and domestic unit is in the pipeline for the Royal Bahamas Police Force, all in an effort to address sexual violence in the Bahamas. National Security Minister Wayne Monroe says the unit will be opened in a matter of weeks.
They have identified a building. At this point, my last briefing was that they were doing the outfitting of it, because little things like the color of walls that greet someone could affect your psyche, so they're doing it properly and they're outfitting it now. I would anticipate a formal opening hopefully within the outside period, a month or so, given the briefings that I would have had.
Minister Monroe says there seems to be a disregard for humanity, which has led to an uptick in sexual offenses. In 2022, there were 55 rape incidents reported to police, which represented a 15% increase compared to 2021.
We're concerned that the victims of sexual offenses should not be run around when they are making complaints. We're concerned that they should be greeted in a proper environment and get the proper support. We are also concerned that the victims of domestic violence do not experience the harrowing experience of having to go from one police station to a next police station to another police agency. The Commissioner is very adamant that we cannot tolerate this type of crime, and the victims of this type of crime must feel comfortable to come forward and make their complaints, and must have a proper experience with the system in order to have confidence to come forward and give their evidence.
Minister Monroe believes there may be more occurrences of these kinds of offenses, particularly as some victims are reluctant to file a report. On the heels of that announcement by the National Security Minister, a female visiting the Bahamas lodged a complaint of sexual assault. Details are sketchy, but according to initial police reports, the victim was out with friends at a local resort in western New Providence when she was lured away from those friends and sexually assaulted by a male. Police are investigating, and the resort's security team is assisting with that investigation as well. The police are hoping the resort's various security cameras can shed more light on this circumstance. And finally, in this report, criminal investigators here in the capital also arresting two males who were expected to be charged for sexual offenses in two separate incidents. A 37-year-old male resident of Emerald Street, Nassau Village, has been arrested and expected to be charged for allegedly having unlawful sexual intercourse with a juvenile female between September 2022 and February of this year. In the second incident, a 39-year-old male resident of Montel Heights has been arrested and expected to be charged with the rape of an adult female last week Wednesday in the Angliston area. Initial reports indicated that an unknown male entered the home of a female victim in the area of Padolio Street in the early morning hours, armed with a knife, and had unprotected sexual intercourse with her against her will. Police continue to investigate. We'll take a break here. We'll be right back after these commercials.